You love to play the game. You love to play it at a great value, which is why hundreds of your votes helped shape what you're about to see. I'll explain all of that in the moments ahead.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, shining the spotlight on the best places to stay, play, and enjoy the greatest game on earth. MGL TV is presented by Callaway Golf, Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, Donald Ross Sportswear, Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, and by the Golf Association of Michigan. Stay connected to Michigan Golf Live 24/7 on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel. And subscribe for free to our weekly Four Golfers Network podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Here's your host for MGL TV, Bill Hobson.
Hello, friends, and welcome into the program. I'm Bill Hobson. It's great to have you along with us because, after all, this is a show that you helped produce. Several months ago, we turned to you, our social media followers, and invited you to nominate the top 10 under $50 golf courses throughout the state of Michigan. And man, did you ever respond. So much so that what you are seeing today is part 2 of a special showcasing the top 10 courses. So if you missed version 1, make sure you go back and check it out because those are 5 wonderful properties that lead into where we are headed today. I'm not going to talk for long because we have a lot of ground to cover, both literally and figuratively, and we'll start off by heading to Houghton Lake and introducing you to the Quest. One of the best things about this tour of the great courses under $50 is the opportunity to meet so many people who have a personal investment in the golf course, and that's the case here in Houghton Lake at the Quest. Brandon Warrison, come on in here. This man is taking this place and putting his name on it, his stamp on it.
Yes, this place is a gem, and to be able to put my hands on it and get involved in it is an incredible feeling.
Here you are at Houghton Lake, right in the middle of the state, and you have this beautiful golf property that, interestingly enough, was designed by a PGA Tour major winner.
Yes, Ken Green. Yeah, he's incredible.
What did he do with this property?
Before this was built, it was all solid hardwoods and pines and trees and weeds, and they came in and had a vision. Tom Wiedemann was the original design or owner of the course, and they brought Ken in and he did his magic.
You and I discovered some of that magic. Let's break down the nines.
Yes.
First on the front, I know you've done some clearing and some opening up of things, and so the front is even more open than it would have been even a year ago.
Yes.
So how do you describe the front nine here at the Quest?
The front nine is hilly, windy, wide open, lots of room for air, and a lot of wind.
You've poured a lot of time and energy into the conditioning. This place is
Yes.
in great shape.
Well,
The
thank
greens
you.
are rolling perfectly. That doesn't happen without a lot of effort and a lot of intentional investment.
Yes. When we got here, things were pretty good, and we took a bunch of trees out and did a lot of clearing and maintenance and put a little more effort into focusing on what this course is designed to be, which is more of a higher caliber course for an honest, decent rate.
It is a super friendly atmosphere as
Yes,
well.
yes.
And you finish up the front nine where you said it's a little bit more open. Then we cross the road and we go to the back, and everything changes.
Yeah, the back nine is a different animal. It's tight, it's lined with trees, out of bounds, water.
So your precision game is called for on the back.
Yes, absolutely.
A beautiful stretch of holes. We get to number 11. We take a look at the contours of that, and in the right shadows, those trees look like they either form a very good guideline or a terrifying guideline.
Yes.
Too, with all the trees.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of, it gives you a look like you get a lot of room to hit, but with the trees, it's deceiving because the wind swirls so much, and it's tighter than what it looks.
And then we get to some beautiful holes that are kind of wrapped around a pond, kind of a little lake back there in 16, 17, and bringing us on home. What's the home stretch like?
The home stretch, it kind of confuses people because it's like a wishbone. You come up to 16, and you drive 16, you come back up 17, and then you drive past 16 again and up to number 18, which is a long par 5 up to the clubhouse.
You can hit a lot of drivers out here, but you don't have to hit a lot of drivers out here.
No, 3-wood is your friend, especially in the back nine. I tell a lot of people that you know, you can get there in 2 most of the time, if you hit it, if you keep it in the fairway, basically if you keep it in the short grass, you're golden.
So your guests must appreciate the value that the Quest offers.
Yeah, this place, for what you get, for what you pay, is incredible. There's not a course around for the value that you can play a course, a PGA designed course that is in conditions like this. I proved to my grounds guys that I was in it to win it. You know, I was out here, I get my boots on, I come out and I weed whack and I shovel dirt and I do whatever it takes just to give them the understanding that, well, I'm not just some guy coming in that's gonna boss them around and take all the, you know, the high fives and the pleasure out of it, but, you know, just hard work.
We're going to give you a little kudos, a little tip of the hat.
You,
well done. This place is beautiful. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you. Anytime. Come back.
Showcasing it to the entire world. One of the great courses under $50 you'll find anywhere in the state of Michigan. Well, what Brandon and his team have done at the Quest is really quite impressive, as are the rest of the courses still to come. When we return, we head to the Thumb and showcase for you a part of the state that has some wonderful golf to offer. That comes your way after this. Welcome back to our special showcase of the top 10 under $50 golf courses in the state, a show that your votes helped produce. Now in part one, we ventured into the Thumb and introduced you to Ubley Heights. Now we go back to the Thumb and give you a look at the beautiful Verona Hills. Pretty much everybody watching carries around with you at all times a map of Michigan. And in this portion of our top 10 courses under $50, we are visiting the Thumb, a part of our state that doesn't get nearly enough attention or credit for the wonderful golf offered here and the great value, which is why I'm excited to introduce you to Verona Hills. PGA professional Philip Granovich is going to be our guide around this wonderful place. How are you?
Good, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. Am I right, though? The Thumb doesn't get nearly enough attention.
It's starting to get more and more attention. Like Port Austin, for example, they've done a lot of stuff, and a lot of the small towns in the area have been doing a lot, and it's bringing more people to the area.
Well, I can see why a lot of people would come to this part of the Thumb, because Verona Hills is a beautiful golf course. I'm going to have you take us on kind of an overview of what makes this a special place to play.
Well, it's a tale of two sides. You know, the front nine is more of like a country club style, and then the back nine you get into, they think Thumb and they think flatlands.
Right.
And then you get back to like 14, 15, and you get out to some a bunch of elevation changes, and it's a pretty unique golf course.
One of the things I've enjoyed in my tour of this course is that it's not overly long. I think from the tips it's around 65, 66, par 71. But it has some of the classic course defense mechanisms. Tree line, pedestal greens that have a lot of drop off if you're not accurate with your iron. So let's kind of walk through some of the key holes that we're going to show to our audience on camera. We of course went right off number one. How does that start off your round?
So yeah, number one is a par 5. You start off from the longer hitters. If you hit a good shot, you can get home in 2. Just like most of the par 5s, if you hit it long enough, you can get home in 2. It's a lot of risk reward, like you were saying on 1. There's a ditch that runs up front, and you got the possibility of, the risk there. So 3 and 8, for example, again, if you can hit it, they're kind of not exactly blind tee shots. You can either go straight up and do it like the hole was designed to be played, or if you want to take another risk, you can cut the corner and you possibly could knock it on the green on 3 and 8.
Then we come in on number 9 and have some fun here with the little pond on the right. Beautiful willow tree framing the approach shot.
Yep, and the pond does come into play. It's probably 230, 240 yards from your tee shot. And then, the pond doesn't really come into play on your second shot, but then it's, guarded by 3 bunkers, actually 4 bunkers there.
All right, we come in, we make the turn.
We featured hole number 12, which is, I would say, our signature hole. It's our hardest hole in the golf course. There's OB and hazard there on the left, and then you got trees on your right. So you have to hit a really good tee shot, and then, it's one of our longer par 4s out here.
When you start to enter into this elevation part of the golf course, it does feel like you're in an entirely different property.
When you're coming, especially the drive up here, when you're coming up 53 for the most part, it's farm fields and flat land, and then all of a sudden you come to this piece of property and you've got all those elevation changes, which is pretty cool. It gives you kind of a up north feel without, that big long drive up north.
So we've played the traditional course that's here. There's something coming in the near future here that will add even more to the experience.
Yeah, we're very excited. It was in the plans here. We've been talking about it for the last year or so. Haven't even actually put it out there for public knowledge yet. So I guess this will be the first of that. But back over here, we've got I think there's 5-6 acres of nothing back there basically. And we've decided to build a short course. It'll be like a practice facility with there'll be 4 short holes there too.
Nice.
We're going to start breaking ground on that in the next week or two. So very exciting. Nothing like it around here in our area. So
by the spring of next year, you'll have another feature to offer here. I hope you all have appreciated the beauty of Verona Hills. The value is already inherent in the fact that it's in our top 10 courses under $50. Thank you for the guided tour.
Thanks, Bill.
And for
Appreciate it.
showing me what it's like to actually hit the ball a long ways. I got to tell you, that was my first time ever at Verona Hills. What a beautiful course. We have had our minds blown by the beauty of the courses throughout this tour, including the next one you see, as we head west as far as you can go without getting your feet in the water, with our sights set on Manistee. Now I know that when you see this scene, you think you know right where I am, but that's not where I am. As we continue on our tour of the best courses in Michigan for under $50, we have come to a very special place filled with history. Let me welcome in the PGA professional here, Zach Robinson, at Manistee Golf and Country Club. Man, what a place this is. It's absolutely gorgeous. You must love it here.
Bill, this is a great place. Been here for 6 years now, and it's truly a hidden gem. The history here, 1901, this is our 120th year. Great course on bluffs of Lake Michigan. Great course for beginners, seniors, everybody in between.
It can't be too hidden. There are people everywhere out here today because some folks on vacation and some who are your members have come to love this old-time golf course, and it has that old-time feel to it, right?
Yes, it's a shorter course, but the greens are smaller. We like to keep that old feel, kind of like the history of golf. You come here, you're going to get a piece of the history of golf. So everybody is welcome. We're open to the public, and we welcome everybody here.
And here's this beautiful setting where you're right on the shore of Lake Michigan. You're right in a very popular tourist area in Manistee, not too far from Ludington, not too far from a further trip up the coastline to that Arcadia area. And man, it's hard to beat this perfect setting we have on this wonderful afternoon.
Truly, it's a paradise. Every day I get to come here and get to see, this beautiful land, the history of it. I look forward to many good years of this place, 120, and many more to come.
Isn't it funny how things evolve over time? There used to be railroad tracks that run through the course. The clubhouse used to be out on the bluff, and back in the 30s it was moved board by board to where it is now. That kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. That's mind-blowing.
Right. So you're going to get the full history when you come here. We got some older pictures in the clubhouse. You get the feel of the clubhouse behind us. It's a real good setting, relaxed feeling when you come here. So welcome everybody. Come on out, enjoy this great place. We all call home, and looking forward to it.
This is your golf home. What's special about it?
Well, since 1901, on the shores of Lake Michigan, a beautiful little course that isn't real long, isn't real tough, but when the wind comes up, it's an awesome place to try and play well.
Yeah, when you're over 120 years old as a property, there's some great stories to tell here, and the desire to kind of maintain that historic feel, right?
Very much so, Bill. We've tried to keep the course 1901 themed, and while we could do a lot of other things, we try and maintain it as it would have been maintained years ago.
When you talk about history that dates back to 1901 here at Manistee Golf and Country Club, you talk about the original designer, Bruce Matthews. Here's the grandson. Bruce, number 3. What's it like for you to tee it up here?
I love this golf course. It's fun knowing that this was his first Michigan golf course.
Boy, that's the first in many.
Yep.
When you get to experience kind of that family legacy and that heritage, does it mean a little bit more to you?
Yeah, it does. Because if you look at the greens out here, you'll see very similar greens on almost every one of my grandfather's golf courses, and my uncles and myself.
And
we've just evolved from what my granddad did.
So what are those characteristics we could look for? Because the Matthews name really is all over the state of Michigan.
Yeah, well, the characteristics are a couple of them. As you look at the mounds outside the greens here, there's usually 3 or 4 mounds, and then the green wraps around it. But they're contoured greens, not overly difficult, but they'll have break everywhere. So he didn't do flat plain greens, he did contoured greens, which was different back in that day.
Well, the greens were moving a bit more slowly then too, right? So
Correct.
some of those contours in the modern era become very difficult to manage.
Correct. I've spent a lot of time remodeling those steep and slopey greens.
Can you hear echoes of Grandpa as you play this course?
I can see him working out here. Yeah, it's a really interesting deal, especially because when I'm looking at it, I know what he did by just looking at what's out here. It's very familiar.
We have 2 courses remaining in today's special, so don't go anywhere as we head down along the I-94 corridor coming up next. Welcome back into our top 10 under $50 golf course special, the one that you helped create. We have 2 courses remaining, and both of them are located right along the I-94 corridor. Up first, we're going to head just a few minutes outside of Jackson to a place called Calderone. I have no doubt that by the time this feature has concluded, you'll be shaking your head thinking, how on earth is this one of the under $50 golf courses in the state? But it is, and it's one of the Jackson area's finest. Calderone Golf Club, and my friend Brian Roberts has been in the golf industry for quite a while, both behind the counter and on a tractor, right? Turf is your life.
Whatever needs to be done. Yeah, my background, I know it's be tough for you to hear about. Michigan State graduate for the Turf Grass Management program, and that was my first love. But I've been working in golf since I was 14 years old. I've done everything. I've been a cart boy. I've ran the drink cart when we were short. So whatever needs to be done. But my love came from the turf end. But I just love seeing people come out and enjoy our course.
Well, let's talk to them about your course. This is a beautiful layout here in this pastoral setting, although it's just a couple of, maybe a half wedge off of I-94, so
Sure.
the location is easy to get to. What's the course like?
I just think when I try and explain this course to people, the front 9, everybody says, yep, it's a links course. And it is. It's a unique links course. There's not a ton of them in the state of Michigan. We go out and say, hey, I feel like I'm playing a links course. And the back 9 is pretty similar to that, but you get a little bit of target golf mixed in with it. But when I try to explain this course, I just say it's a fun golf course to play. You come out here, it's not really, really hard. It's challenging. We got our challenging shots. You can play it, 5,000 yards. You can go all the way back to 7,000 yards. But that's just when people come out here, they just say, man, I just really like playing that course. It's just a fun course to play.
There are some visuals out here that feature terrain that's with elevation changes that might surprise some people. Here we are in the Jackson area. You don't think about a lot of ups and downs, but you have those here at Calderone.
You're right. William Newcomb did a great job designing this course, and he kind of worked with a lot of what we had here. It was a horse farm back in the day. The Calderone family owned this course, and it was a horse farm. But he just kind of worked with what we naturally had, and you get some great elevation changes.
You and I are standing basically on top of the world at Calderone, one of the, I think, the highest point probably on the course. And you can see a little bit of everything. You can see the fescue, you can see the wildflowers, you can see the beautifully striped fairways, and all the different features that you have out here. Does this course have a different feel front to back 9, or is it the same kind of an approach all the way through?
I think it does have a little bit different feel. Like the front is almost feels exclusively links with the up and down, the native grasses. The back 9, you get a little bit of that, but then you do get some target golf. You get some kind of northern Michigan feel when you get to holes like 13, 14, and 15, where we're kind of tucked and you're winding through the woods a little bit there.
I know anybody with a background in turf prides himself on the conditions of the fairways and especially the greens. Your greens are moving out here. I love the quality that you've put into them, again, at such a great value for golfers.
You're right, and I think, when you look at a value course, which we do consider ourselves a value course, people will forgive other things. If your greens are great, people will always come back, they'll enjoy it, and they'll say, man, for $50 or we're $45. You come out here and say, man, those greens are just great for a $45 golf course. And then you start to not hear that stuff. All you hear is, man, these are just great greens. This course is in great shape. And that's what we're really striving towards.
Yeah, that's the highest praise. where the
Exactly.
price doesn't matter because the conditions are that good no matter where you might be.
You got it. And it's fun to hear people come in and say, man, you know, if you guys were over in Detroit, you could be charging $20 more. Why aren't you charging more? We just say, you know, we just like to offer a consistent product, and we like to treat our customers good, and just offer this great value, and our T-sheet's pretty full. We get people from Ann Arbor and Jackson and Lansing and Toledo. A lot of Toledo people vacation up here, so we get them to stop in here for a day trip. But we do get a lot of guys who are maybe they're hitting the casinos, they're heading over towards the east side of the state, and they're doing like a golf package, and they were hitting us on the Friday or the Sunday on the way home, and they've made it part of their package. And we just, to me, that's high praise when they're going to play some of these great golf courses and they're making a point to hit us on the way to or the way from.
Now, it's entirely possible that your round at Calderone may very well take place on your way to or perhaps your way from our final featured course as we head to the downriver area and the lakes of Taylor. If you have played golf in Michigan for any length of time, you are well acquainted with the name of Arthur Hills, the prolific golf course architect, and it was his artistry that carved the next stop on our Top 10 tour as we brought the cameras to the downriver area just a few minutes away from Detroit Metropolitan Airport and the lakes of Taylor, a beautiful property in a place that I don't know if everybody would expect it to be here. My co-host and playing partner is Ian Walker. It's good to see you.
You too.
Tell us about this place. It's really beautiful, and it's in an area where, I don't know, it's kind of surprisingly beautiful.
It is. It's well received, and a lot of surprise that we get from people that are new to the golf course. They don't expect to get the rolling hills, the vast fairways, and even the woods that creep in here in the middle of Taylor.
One of the striking visuals when you pull onto the property is a beautiful clubhouse, a beautiful practice area, the setting where you could have clinics and you could do all sorts of things before you head out onto the course. I would have to think that the downriver community has embraced the lakes of Taylor.
It absolutely has. We have 5 high school teams that practice here. We currently have a junior golf camp going on right now. Our practice facilities are the best in the area, between the full driving range, our short game facility, and not to mention the banquet facility that we have in the Lake House Bar and Grill. While we're known for our golf, we have a lot more than just golf going on here.
Right out of the gate, there are a couple of holes that could contend for the title of being signature holes, the 2 and 3. Walk us tee to green through both of those.
Okay, so the second hole, just under 300-yard par 4. You can play it very safe by hitting a 200-yard shot out there, but risk reward is confident with the driver. You can carry it over the water and give yourself an opportunity and maybe a eagle chance.
And then one of the characteristics of the par 3s out here is that if you're going to play all the way back, you're going to have some challenge. There's some length on number 3.
From all the way back, 3 of the 4 par 3s are considerable distance. I mean, even number 11, the short one, it's past 165 yards from the back.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I can guarantee you that our audience is saying right now as they see these visuals is there's no way that's under $50. How did they get into this special? This is a great value to play here.
It really is, and I think that's part of being a municipality. We want to offer a fair rate for people to come out and enjoy golf. We don't want to be we want to be a championship golf course. We want everybody of every different playing ability to be able to come out and enjoy themselves.
And they can certainly do that. There are 2 more holes that I want to talk to you about in specific, 17 and 18. What a cool way to close your round. And once again, if you're struggling with accuracy, I hope you have an extra sleeve of balls in the bag. 17, a prime example of that.
Yeah, 17 today, I mean, when we played it, we had 181 yards of carry the entire way.
To a front pin.
To a front pin, over the water the whole way. You got a little bit of a bailout area to the left, but it doesn't give you the chance of birdie there.
And then we go to 18, a beautiful finishing hole.
It is a nice par 5, water on the right off the tee that can give you trouble. If you navigate that successfully, your next shot, good drive, you have a chance to go to the green in 2, but you have water on the left of the green and you have bunkers on the right, so it's quite the challenge.
And one of my favorite things about finishing your round at the Lakes of Taylor is what comes next after you putt out on 18. You've got your cheeseburger, your taco salad, your Reuben, and some delicious looking chicken parm, all in the Lake House Bar and Grill, the perfect way to end your round and your day at the Lakes of Taylor. I'm going to dig into all this before Ian makes it over here. If you missed any of the 10 features from today or from last week, everything is now available on our YouTube and our Roku channels, so you can watch whenever you like. Thanks so much for helping us celebrate this great game and enjoy your personal tour of the state's top 10 under $50 golf courses.